My name is Sophia Chen. I'm 30 years old. And for 26 years, my family treated me like I was invisible. While my sister Melissa collected awards, promotions, and my parents' endless praise, I worked 3 jobs just to survive. While she moved into a luxury condo downtown with their down payment gift, I shared a cramped apartment with 2 roommates and ate ramen for dinner. My parents made it clear at every family gathering, every holiday, every milestone that would never be mine, I was the disappointment, the one who didn't measure up, the acceptable sacrifice. But 3 months ago, at my sister's promotion party at the Ritz-Carlton, a lawyer I'd never met handed me an envelope that exposed 26 years of lies. What my parents didn't know? My grandmother had been watching everything. She saw every insult, every dismissal, every moment they made me feel worthless. And she left me something that would destroy their perfect family narrative forever. Let me give you context about who the Chen family is, because you need to understand what I was fighting against. The Chens were successful, not wealthy, but comfortable. My father, Michael Chen, ran a successful accounting firm in Seattle. My mother, Patricia, was a real estate agent who closed million-dollar deals like they were nothing. They lived in a beautiful house in Bellevue, drove luxury cars, took vacations to Europe. From the outside, we looked like the perfect American success story. But inside that beautiful house, there were 2 very different daughters. Melissa was born first. Beautiful, brilliant, effortlessly perfect. She got straight A's without trying. She was captain of the debate team, president of student council, valedictorian of her high school. She went to Stanford on a full scholarship, then got her MBA from Wharton. And then there was me. I was born with a learning disability, dysgraphia. It's a neurological condition that affects writing ability. My handwriting was messy. I struggled with spelling. Written assignments took me 3 times longer than other students. My parents' response? Shame, disappointment, constant comparison to my perfect sister. Why can't you be more like Melissa? Your sister never had these problems. Maybe if you just tried harder? I tried harder. I stayed up until midnight finishing assignments that took Melissa an hour. I went to tutoring sessions on weekends while she went to parties. I worked twice as hard for half the recognition, and it was never, ever enough. I remember my 13th birthday. I'd been begging for months to have a small party, just me and 5 friends going to the movies and getting pizza. My mom promised we'd do something special. The morning of my birthday, Melissa called. She'd gotten into Stanford early admission and wanted to celebrate that weekend. My party was canceled. We spent my 13th birthday taking Melissa shopping for Stanford gear and going to her favorite restaurant. Don't be selfish, Sophia. Your sister's achievement is more important than a silly party. We can do something for you another time. We never did. Then there was my college graduation. I'd worked so hard for that moment. It took me 5 years instead of 4 because I was working full-time to pay tuition. My parents refused to help me financially. They'd already spent so much on Melissa's education, they said. When I walked across that stage, I scanned the audience for my parents. Their seats were empty. They arrived an hour late. Melissa had a work presentation that couldn't be rescheduled, and they'd driven her there first. You understand, honey. Your sister's career is taking off. This is really important for her. More important than me? That's what she meant. That's what she always meant. But there was one person who saw me, really saw me. My grandmother, Lin Chen, my father's mother. Grandma Lin had immigrated from Taiwan in the 1960s. She'd built a small but successful import business, raised 4 children while learning English, and survived things my generation couldn't imagine. She was tough, practical, and she didn't tolerate bullshit. Every other Sunday, I'd take the bus to her apartment in the International District. While Melissa was brunching with my parents or shopping at Nordstrom, I sat in Grandma Lynn's small kitchen drinking jasmine tea and learning about life. One Sunday in 2018, when I was 24, she sat me down with unusual seriousness. Gia, Gia, she said, using the Mandarin term of endearment she always used for me. I need to tell you something important. She pulled out a leather folder, old, worn, filled with documents I didn't understand. Your parents, she said carefully, they don't see clearly. They see Melissa's achievements and think that's all that matters. But achievements mean nothing without character. She leaned forward. I'm going to tell you something I've never told anyone. When I started my business in 1965, everyone said I would fail. A Chinese woman with no connections, no English, no experience. Impossible. She smiled. But I succeeded because I didn't listen to people who couldn't see my worth. And you, Gia, you need to stop listening to people who can't see yours. She pushed the leather folder across the table. Keep this safe. Don't tell your parents. When the time is right, you'll know what to do with it. I looked inside. Legal documents, business records, things I didn't understand at 24. Grandma, what is this? Insurance, she said. For when they show you who they really are? I didn't understand then. I would eventually. Fast forward to 3 months ago. October 2024. My sister Melissa got promoted to senior vice president at her tech company. At 32 years old, she was the youngest person to ever hold that position. My parents threw her a celebration party at the Ritz-Carlton. 200 guests, open bar, a literal red carpet entrance. I wasn't involved in the planning. I found out about it through a Facebook event notification. I almost didn't go. I was working a Saturday shift at the coffee shop, one of my 3 part-time jobs, when the invitation popped up on my phone. My roommate convinced me. Free food, Sophia, and maybe it'll be different this time. It wasn't different. I arrived in a dress I'd bought at Target for $40. Everyone else was wearing designer everything. The women sparkled in jewelry that cost more than my monthly rent. The men wore suits that probably cost more than my car. My mother intercepted me at the entrance. Sophia, you came. She looked me up and down with barely concealed disappointment. I wish you'd asked for help with your outfit. This is a professional event. Translation, you look poor and you're embarrassing us. She directed me to a table at the very back of the ballroom. Table 32, behind a decorative column, with distant relatives I'd met maybe once at a funeral 6 years ago. From that table, I couldn't even see the stage clearly. My father gave a speech. I could barely hear it, but I caught the important parts. My daughter Melissa has achieved what most people only dream of. She graduated top of her class from Stanford. She earned her MBA from Wharton. She's climbed the corporate ladder with determination and excellence. Applause, cheers, a standing ovation. Tonight, I'm announcing that Melissa will inherit our family home in Bellevue when we pass. She'll also receive the majority of our estate, as she's proven herself to be the responsible one, the one who's made us proud. More applause. Melissa stood beside our father, looking humble and grateful in a way I knew was completely calculated. My father continued, I built my accounting firm for my daughters. Well, for the daughter who understands the value of hard work and excellence. He didn't mention me once, not even in passing. And then something happened that changed everything. A man in a gray suit approached my table, mid-50s, distinguished, carrying a leather briefcase that screamed expensive lawyer. Sophia Chen? That's me. My name is James Park. I'm a senior partner at Morrison & Associates. I was your grandmother's attorney for the past 20 years. My heart started racing. Grandmother? She passed away 2 years ago. I'm aware. He pulled out a thick envelope sealed with red wax. She left explicit instructions about when and where to deliver this. He placed it in my hands. Mrs. Chen told me to wait for the day your father publicly declared which daughter deserved his inheritance. She said I'd know the moment when I saw it. He nodded toward the stage where my father and Melissa were still basking in applause. I believe that moment just occurred. My hands trembled as I stared at the envelope, my grandmother's handwriting on the front. For my Sophia, when you need this most. What is this? For the first time, warmth flickered in his eyes. Your grandmother's will, the real one, the one your parents don't know exists. I couldn't stay in that ballroom. I grabbed the envelope, found an empty conference room down the hall, and broke the seal with shaking hands. Inside, 32 pages of dense legal text, notarized stamps, a date, March 15th, 2019, 3 years before she passed away. I read slowly, carefully, my dysgraphia making the letters swim a bit, but I forced myself to focus on every single word. I, Lin Chen, being of sound mind and body, do hereby revoke all previous testamentary documents and declare this to be my final will and testament. My eyes caught on a paragraph in the middle. To my granddaughter, Sophia Chen, I leave the following. My import business, Chen Trading Company, currently valued at approximately $8 million. My apartment building in the International District, valued at approximately $4 million. My personal savings and investment portfolio, valued at approximately $3 million. $15 million. My grandmother had left me $15 million, but there was more. To my son, Michael Chen, I leave the sum of $100,000 and a reminder that financial success means nothing if you cannot see the value in your own children. I read that twice. $100,000. To the son who'd spent his whole life chasing wealth and status. The will continued. This bequest is made with full knowledge of my son's treatment of Sophia. She has been excluded, diminished, and denied love, not because of her disability, but because of his inability to see past superficial achievements. Sophia is not less than her sister. Sophia was abandoned by people who should have protected her. I will not allow my son's prejudice to continue after my death. A sob caught in my throat. Grandma had seen everything. Every dismissal, every comparison, every moment I'd felt invisible, and she'd documented it all. Attached to the will was a handwritten letter on her personal stationery. My dearest Sophia, if you're reading this, then James has done his job, and your father has shown you exactly who he is. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you while I was alive, but I can protect you now. I built Chen Trading from nothing. One small shop in 1965 and 60 years of work. Your father thinks he deserves it because he's the son, because he's successful, because Melissa has the right degrees and the right career. But success without kindness is worthless. Achievement without compassion is empty. You, my Gia, you have something your sister will never have. You have a good heart. You treat people with respect. You work hard not for recognition, but because that's who you are. That's why you get my business. Not because you're smarter than Melissa, though you are, in ways she'll never understand. Not because you're more successful, though you will be now that you have resources. You get my legacy because you understand what really matters. Because you've been knocked down and got back up. Because you've been told you're worthless and refused to believe it. Use this gift wisely, Sophia. Build something beautiful. And never let anyone make you feel small again. All my love, Nai. I sat in that empty conference room for 20 minutes, crying so hard I thought I might break. Not from sadness, from relief. Someone had seen me. Someone had believed in me. Someone had chosen me. I walked back into that ballroom with my grandmother's will in my hands. The party was still going, people laughing, drinking, celebrating Melissa and everything she represented. I walked straight to the microphone. Excuse me? The music stopped. 200 people turned to stare at me. My father's face went from confusion to anger in seconds. Sophia, what are you doing? This is your sister's... I have an announcement to make. My mother started moving toward me, but James Park stepped forward from where he'd been standing near the wall. I'm James Park, attorney at Morrison & Associates. I represent the estate of Lin Chen. Miss Chen has every right to address this gathering. My father's face went pale. What is this about? I held up the will so everyone could see the legal seals. This is about the truth you've been hiding for 2 years. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Grandma Lynn updated her will in 2019. She left me her business, her properties, and her entire estate, approximately $15 million. The room erupted in whispers. That means Chen Trading Company? It's mine. The apartment building in the International District? Mine. The legacy that grandmother built? She left it to me. Not to Dad, not to Melissa, to me. My father's face turned purple. That's impossible. My mother would never. Your mother absolutely would. James Park's voice cut through the chaos. I have the original will right here, notarized and legally binding. Would you like me to read the relevant passages aloud? Melissa found her voice. This is insane. Sophia can't run a business. She can barely hold down a job. You're right, Melissa. I can't run a business. Yet. But I can learn. And more importantly, I can hire people who know what they're doing, people Grandma already had in place, and actually listen to them. I turned back to the crowd. There's more. Grandma left detailed instructions about why she made this choice. Would you like me to read them? My mother spoke for the first time. Sophia, don't do this. You're embarrassing yourself. No, Mom, I'm embarrassing you. There's a difference. I opened Grandma's letter and read the key passage aloud. This bequest is made with full knowledge of my son's treatment of Sophia. She has been excluded, diminished, and denied love, not because of her disability, but because of his inability to see past superficial achievements. Sophia is not less than her sister. Sophia was abandoned by people who should have protected her. The room was dead silent. Grandma Lynn documented everything. Every birthday party canceled for Melissa. Every graduation you missed. Every time you chose her over me. Every time you made me feel worthless. My father tried to speak. You did. My voice was steady. For 26 years you did. And Grandma saw it all. That was 3 months ago. Since then, my life has completely transformed. I hired a business manager to help me run Chen Trading Company. The company my grandmother built, it's thriving. I've discovered I have a talent for understanding people and building relationships, skills that matter more than perfect handwriting. I bought a house, not a mansion, just a comfortable home in a good neighborhood. My first home that's actually mine. I quit all 3 part-time jobs. I now work on the business and volunteer teaching art classes to kids with learning disabilities, kids like me who need someone to tell them they're not broken. And my parents? They tried to contest the will. They hired expensive lawyers and filed motions and argued that Grandma wasn't in her right mind. James Park buried them in documentation. Medical records proving she was completely competent, testimony from witnesses, the detailed notes she'd kept for years about their treatment of me. The judge dismissed their case in 15 minutes. My father sent one email after the ruling. I hope you're happy now. You've destroyed this family. I replied, I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped pretending the destruction wasn't already there. I haven't heard from them since. Melissa called me last week. First time we'd spoken since the party. Sophia, can we talk? I almost hung up, but something made me listen. I've been thinking, she said carefully, about everything, about how Mom and Dad treated you. And? Silence for a moment. I think I knew. I think I always knew it wasn't fair, but it was easier for me to ignore it because I was benefiting from it. That was the first honest thing my sister had ever said to me. I'm not asking for forgiveness, she continued. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. I see what they did, what I let them do. Thank you for saying that. Are you happy? She asked. With the business, the money, everything? I thought about it, really thought about it. I'm not happy because of the money, Melissa. I'm happy because for the first time in my life, someone chose me. Someone saw my worth. Someone believed I was enough. She was quiet for a long time. I'm sorry I wasn't that someone. Me too. We're not close now. Maybe we never will be. But that conversation was a start. If you're watching this and you've been the scapegoat of your family, if you've been told you're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy of love just because you don't fit their narrow definition of success, I want you to hear this. It's not you. It was never you. You're not broken. You're not too much. You're not the problem. The problem is people who measure worth by achievements instead of character. People who love conditionally. People who choose favorites and expect everyone else to accept it. My grandmother didn't leave me $15 million because I was more deserving than my sister. She left it to me because I needed someone to prove that I mattered, that my struggles meant something, that being different doesn't mean being less. And you know what? That gift didn't just change my bank account. It changed how I see myself. For the first time in my life, I'm not trying to earn love. I'm not shrinking myself to fit into someone else's version of who I should be. I'm not apologizing for having feelings or asking for basic respect. I'm just living, fully, authentically, without shame. You don't need a secret inheritance to claim that freedom. You just need to give yourself permission to stop accepting crumbs from people who should be giving you the whole meal. Family isn't blood. Family isn't obligation. Family isn't people who share your DNA but treat you like you're disposable. Family is people who see you, who choose you, who prove through their actions, not their words, that you matter. Sometimes that family is biological, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you have to build your own family from friends, mentors, kind strangers who show up when blood relatives don't. And that's okay. That's more than okay. That's survival. That's strength. That's choosing yourself when no one else will. I spent 26 years trying to earn love from people who were never going to give it. And then I spent 3 months learning what love actually looks like, from a grandmother who saw me clearly even when everyone else looked past me. If the people who are supposed to love you can't do that, if they've proven over and over that you'll always come last, you have the right to walk away. You have the right to build your own life. You have the right to be happy. That's not revenge. That's not drama. That's just refusing to accept less than you deserve. I found my worth in a grandmother's will and a lawyer's office. But your worth? It's already there. You just have to stop letting other people tell you it isn't. Thank you for being here until the very end. If this story resonated with you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It really helps more people find these stories. I want to hear from you. Have you ever been made to feel invisible in your own family? Have you had to set boundaries with people who were supposed to love you? Share your experience in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more stories like this, check the description for my other videos. Until next time, remember, you deserve to be seen. You deserve to be chosen. You deserve to take up space without apologizing. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.